reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
Hello and welcome to episode 28.5 of the Happy Hearthstone podcast. I am your host, Josh Augustine, and this week I am joined by the deck building master himself, Dan Patrice.
How's it going, buddy? I'm glad to be your 0.5.
You are. You will always be my 0.5. Yeah, that 0.5 is not actually here because Dan is only half a host. It is here because this is only half an episode.
I have lost about 25 pounds in the last 3 months, which is pretty amazing. So.
Oh, nice. Congrats. Well
Thanks,
done.
man. It's amazing what not drinking beer and not eating French fries will do for you.
I never want to try that.
Yes.
So I'll just take your word on that.
Well, now it's officially a cutback rather than a cut out. So I'm just maintaining now.
Okay, well done. So that means you can have some occasionally?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like a once a week thing.
Okay. Fun fact I just learned about San Diego today. We are the number 2 microbrewing city in the world.
Oh, that's awesome.
We only have the only city in the world that has more microbreweries than San Diego is some city in Germany. But we're gunning for them. And I found out about there's a highway, Highway 78 near my house. That's nickname I found out today, Hops Highway.
That's awesome.
Because Stone Co., which is probably our most famous brewery down here, is on one end of it, and along the whole highway is just tons of microbreweries. And so they have like tours that go down the whole thing. So now I'm gonna have to go try that out.
Do they have like a bus tour where you get a DD and they just kind of bring you to each, like a pub crawl?
They probably do, but my wife doesn't drink much anyway, so she'll probably just drive for me or for us or whoever's going. So
okay. One last tangent for you.
Yes.
What is your beer of choice? Like, what type of beer do you like the best?
The darker the better. If it's got some sort of chocolate hints, I'm even more excited.
Does it have to be cold, or are you a room temperature dude too, with the darker beer?
Is that
like Guinness? Like really?
You're speaking nonsense.
Yeah, I know.
How can you have room temperature beer? This is just terrible.
Well, don't people like Guinness? They don't really want it all that chilled. Like they don't want
yeah,
it
but
like.
Okay, Dan. Hold on. Let's stop this boat. Let's stop this boat right now. Guinness doesn't really count.
Okay.
Guinness is it's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, we're talking more heavier stouts. Like Guinness is no, don't give me Guinness. Although I hear quote unquote, oh, it's better in Ireland. If you go there, it's great. Okay, I'll trust that. I haven't been to Ireland, but
that might be the only time you'll get me to
States.
drink one of those is if I go to Ireland.
Are you not a big fan of dark beer?
Not really all that dark. I used to be a real big beer wuss where I had to be able to see through it to drink it. But I've really have been acquiring an IPA in my old age, like an IPA.
Oh,
taste.
really?
So, yeah, I really like IPAs.
I'm kind of a sissy. I'm trying to drink IPAs, man, but they are harsh.
Well, but if you like the darker the better, you know IPA is almost like a step up from what you drink.
Yeah, but so I like dark and smooth, right?
Ah, okay.
And IPAs to me is very harsh. Like I don't feel relaxed. I feel like there's an assault on my stomach happening when I drink that. I'm under invasion.
Well, you give me more excuse every day to come visit you, Josh. Every time,
and
all
actually,
those beer breweries out there and everything.
So the next one I'm going to, one of the guys in the office on the Landmark team was telling me about. I can't remember Interstate 33 or something. I can't remember the name of the brewery, but they were saying how they have a peanut butter stout beer. That is apparently amazing. I'm having trouble picturing this, but they said it actually has cream in it. Too.
Really?
So it's kind of weird, but it has peanut butter cream. So I got to try this, but everyone, 2 people in the office have said that it's excellent, and so I got to try it. So that's my next goal.
The only problem with those is like you drink 1 or 2 of those and you got to like take a break because you're so thick in your stomach.
Yeah. Well, the trick is you just don't eat a meal. You just you drink the beer as a meal and then you're set.
That's true. Who needs food?
Yeah, said the alcoholic.
No, you're just a connoisseur. That's what we call it.
Yeah. I'm actually not a heavy drinker. But anyways, let's jump into this episode because it's short and we don't want half of it to be about beer.
That's true.
So
Josh, why are you happy, buddy?
Wait,
I'm sorry. I'm skipping ahead to that. Sorry.
You are. That's because I didn't put this in the show notes. So we're doing a short episode this week because we're launching something really cool. We're doing our first tournament, And because of the time frame, we have to do it quickly. And so I just wanted to get an episode up tonight to make sure that everyone knew about the tournament. I wanted to make sure that listeners got the first invitation before we post it anywhere. It's going to be a super short tournament, but before we get into that, Dan, how about you go first? Why are you happy?
Well, I'm extremely happy because I'm a proud dad with my son. He's 7 years old. He's been playing a lot of ice hockey since he was about 4.5. But he actually played. He's playing a little more goalie as this season's been going on that I'm coaching. But he got asked to play in a roller tournament this weekend because he plays goalie. And they actually went 3-0. He only let in a couple of goals, and they just rolled over everybody this weekend. And it was a proud dad moment to see it. And they qualified for the nationals, so it's really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
So DJ did a good job. Thanks, man.
Yeah. And you can be happy because we were talking before the show. You just won your hockey game tonight, too.
Yeah, I play in the beer leagues. I play old man hockey a couple times a week. And, you relive past glories of playing. And it was a fun time. Our team's been struggling a little bit, but we actually were down 3-0, and we ended up winning 5-4. So it was nice. I played a good game.
Good
and I played defense. Yeah, it was a really good comeback. The boys played well. So.
Well done.
Thanks, man.
All right.
And why are you happy, Josh?
I'm happy because the test seasons are finally over, or will be in about 2.5 hours in Hearthstone. And so Ranked Season 1 can finally begin. Where, to be honest, I didn't realize we were still in the test phase. I kind of assumed since the game was launched, I should have been paying, I guess, closer attention to their naming scheme. But this is going to be the first official Ranked season, which is going to be cool because we get starting stars based on how well we did in the last ranked season. And so, we can bypass those first early level and kind of see how far we get. And even better, have you seen this new card skin we're going to get if you hit rank 20 next time?
No, I have not.
Okay, so they release it. It's Pandaria themed, right? So they're doing card backs. So if you're familiar with like Magic or something like that, it's the same idea of a sleeve. And so this is going to be an alternate art for the back of the cards. And this is like red and gold. It looks very Pandaria-y. But basically, if you hit ranked level 20, any time in the month of April, which is how long the next ranked season will last, you unlock this. And so it seems like every single month they're going to do like different backs that you can earn, which is a really cool system. I love that. That's going to get me logging in. Like, of course I'm going to log in anyways, but if I was someone else, I would log in at least once a month just to get that, right?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Exactly. And of course, if you hit legendary, you get some fancy pants skin, but let's be honest, I'm not going to hit legendary.
You can do it, man.
Yeah. I will try to hit legendary, but I can almost guarantee you I will not.
Are you a big sleever?
What do you mean by big sleever? Like sleeves?
Well, when you play like Magic and other card games, are you sleever? Like there are people I'm a big board gamer and card gamer. Like I have to have my cards sleeved. Like it's just the anal part of me. I have to do it because card you don't want them deteriorating. You don't want them bending. So I have to have everything sleeved.
Yeah, and actually my first Magic set that I played was Innistrad, which was the first set that introduced double-sided cards where you had to sleeve them. Otherwise, you could see what card it was when it was on the top of your deck and all that sort of stuff, and your opponent could see what card was in your hand. So I was trained from the very beginning that I needed sleeves, and I agree. Like, especially if I'm playing with any sort of rare that's worth anything more than a penny, I will definitely sleeve that.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's
go ahead.
Oh,
sorry, but no, I'm happy that you're happy.
Thank you, Dan. I'm happy that you're happy that I'm happy that you're happy. All right, let's jump into the tournament because this is what's exciting, right? So Dan's deck is awesome, and no one can beat it on the show, as we've discovered over the course of the past 5 months.
Let the record show that Josh said that and not me.
Let the record show that Dan has me at gunpoint and is forcing me to say everything good about him.
No, I have you at green goo point.
Okay. No. Oh, man. Every time you say that, I just glance up at my ceiling just to make sure it's not still there dripping on me. That was really weird. But yeah, so I put out a call on the last episode for listeners who think they can beat it, right? Because apparently my guests can't. Sorry to the past hosts that have failed so far. We got several responses, and also people for a while now have been asking for a Happy Hearthstone tournament in the Google Plus community, on emails, all that sort of stuff. So we decided to mash the concepts together. So we're going to have a listener tournament to decide who gets to come on the show and battle against Dan's Beastmaster deck live. which I'm super excited about. I think this is going to be really fun, right?
That's awesome. I can't wait to see who will go down to Josh battling with my deck next.
Yeah, of course.
Because I know that you are a much better player than I am. I just I'm like the coach on the background. I can put the stuff together, but the actual execution is not me. This is all you, man. You are the king, and there is not a person out there outside of the professional ranks that can beat you. I'm gonna start the smack talk now.
Yeah, you're starting the smack talk on my behalf, though. I don't know if I can back this up. I think there are several people who have watched my live stream that would disagree that I am this good of a player.
You're just sandbagging. That's what it is. You want everybody to think that you're not as good as you really are.
Oh, that's what it is. Yes, I'm brilliant. Using your deck to beat other people. All right, so the tournament's gonna be pretty simple. We're gonna do single elimination, which means if you lose, you're out. But each head-to-head is going to be best of 3. You can use any deck you want. You can trade it out between matches, anything like that. It's going to be very casual this time around. We aren't planning to do anything super formal or over-the-top extravagant just because we're on a time limit because we want you on the next episode of the show, which is in 2 weeks. So the big key is you don't have to use the same deck you used to win the tournament to beat Dan. Excuse me, Dan. Attempt to beat Dan's deck.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. You can customize, tweak, build a whole new class, whole new hero, whatever you want when you do that. If you want to enter the tournament, you can email me. I'm ajosh@outlook.com before this Thursday, April 4th. This is important. This is just a few days away. If you email me...
April 4th is Friday, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Did I get my numbers wrong?
Yeah, Friday's
It is. Yeah, sorry. All right, so Thursday, April 3rd. You have even less days than I thought.
If if the 5th wasn't my birthday, I wouldn't have known that.
Aw. Happy birthday, Dan.
Thank you, buddy.
Does it make you feel good that there's going to be hordes of people battling to the death for the privilege of fighting against you?
It makes me feel great that I know that there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be just cursing my name with every swing of their axe.
Yes, this truly is the greatest way to honor you on your birthday. So if you email in, and it sounds like you're interested, you want to be a part of it, I'll get you connected with Jin, who's a longtime listener to the show and a very cool guy who's offered to organize the whole thing, which is super helpful. He's already put it together. He has a list of rules, and he's set up a challenge tournament, which is a nice website for tracking this sort of stuff. Fair warning, though. Heads up. Because of the time limit, we can't do a huge tournament, right? I have no idea how many people are going to respond to this. I don't think all, thousands of people that listen to the show are going to want to participate in this tournament. But if we do, if we get a ton of entries, we may have to cut it off before the deadline. Just if we hit X number of people, we may just have to cut it off there. But you can always contact me on Twitter to find out if we're still accepting applications, all that sort of good stuff. All that contact info at the end of the show. So boom, prize and date. We're starting the tournament on April 5th, which is Saturday, and we're ending it April 11th. Is that right? Let me check my dates since apparently I'm terrible. Yeah, April 11th. And we're going to record the show somewhere around April 13th or April 14th. That's Monday. Ideally, hopefully record Monday, April 14th. So hopefully you're available. If you're going to participate in the tournament, you need to be available somewhere around April 14th to record the show with me. You also obviously need to have a mic and all that sort of stuff. But you're going to have 24 hours to find and play against your opponent. Jin will help you get connected with them, give you emails or that sort of thing. And the prize this time around, we're just doing a simple prize. You get to come on the show and battle Dan. You could say you're being preserved for posterity eternally on this podcast, if that's how you'd like to view it.
The longest running and best Hearthstone podcast, I might add.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I appreciate that. We are definitely the longest running. Best is probably debatable.
Well, see, I was, you're pumping me up with the deck, but I'm pumping you up, Josh, because there's not a better and nicer host and with better beer taste out there than Josh Augustine.
All right, I'll agree with that. Very few that live in the microbrewing secondary capital of the world, so there you go. Yeah, man, I wonder if any of the other hosts have had this peanut butter beer though. Gotta get some tips on this.
We'll have to have the host, the Hearthstone host enclave going on.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, so that's the tournament. I hope you guys are excited. I love the idea that collectively we're all gonna battle out, and like the greatest among us will rise to the top and get to challenge Dan and hopefully dethrone them in a glorious battle. Sorry, Dan. You got to root for the underdog. Like I'm the
Right.
guy. Like when you're watching the movie, I don't want my team to be winning or whatever. I don't want the protagonist to be winning. I want them to be losing and then come back at the last second.
Well, I've been rooting for underdogs a whole lot. It's good to see a good story. Everyone wants to see the Rudy story.
Yeah.
So the deck was good. I never thought it was going to catch on as well as it did. I just thought we were making a gimmicky deck that I thought could compete, and now it's been really fun.
Yeah. Now it's basically the #1 ranked deck that everyone is playing. Beautiful. All right, Dan. So, as the incumbent that everyone is hoping to battle against, do you have something to say to your potential opponents?
Well, I wish I could do my best Randy Macho Man Savage voice. That's an old callback.
Nothing's stopping you from trying right
well,
now.
No. Well, I have 2 kids sleeping. It's after midnight here.
Okay.
It's a school night for them, but
we'll let it slide. But all right, how about this? If you win, you have to promise to record a Randy Macho Man Savage victory cry, and I'll add it to the show.
Oh, that's a deal.
All right.
That's awesome. I'll definitely do that if we can pull that off. So remember, the hardest part is not only you're going to have to construct a deck to face the Beastmaster deck, but you're going to have to construct another deck that's going to be good enough to beat the rest of the listeners and the other challengers who are going to be good players like yourself. So if you think you've got what it takes to construct 2 solid decks, then you can take on the Beastmaster. I'm really excited to see what the community has to come up with, but you got to remember, this isn't just this isn't a tier 1 tournament that you come in there happy-go-lucky. You better bring it. How's that, Josh? Was that all right?
That was good. Yeah, that was bordering aggressive by the end. That was solid.
I was trying to get into the wrestler mentality.
Yeah, it was good. All right. So yeah, and I should clarify. I didn't say this anywhere else. You can't use a Beastmaster Hunter deck, because that would be really boring. So that's the only. You can use it in the tournament if you want to. The tournament has no rules, but when you're on the show, you can't bring Dan's own deck against him. So. Just had to throw that out there. All right, let's jump to a community question, Dan, before we close out this show. David K asks, if you could be a card, what stats would you have? What would your spell text, if any, read? And what would be your card's name? All right, Dan, I've got mine. I'm actually really excited about this. I'm curious to see what you think. So my card is called the Double Agent. I tried to work Diplomat into it since the website is the Game Diplomat, but the Double Agent Diplomat is just way too long of a name.
But Double Agent might be the exact opposite spectrum than the Diplomat.
Yeah, well, the Diplomat's his cover, right? He's a diplomat,
that's
but
true.
He's actually working as a double agent. Yeah, I can't even begin to figure out who a double agent diplomat would actually be working for. But all right, so the Double Agent, he's a neutral troop. For 2 mana, he's a 0/10 stealth. And then he has, as his spell text, at the start of your turn, choose 1. Reveal a random card from your opponent's hand, or reveal a random card from your hand, and this troop gains 1 attack.
That seems like fun. That seems like a fun card, because I like to choose stuff.
I do too. And I felt like a good balance. Like, you could reveal a random card from your opponent's hand, which, you could get the same card multiple times. It's not always useful. You could reveal a card from your hand, which is a big penalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're gaining 1 attack. If you do that like 4 times, you got a big troop.
Now, would he lose stealth if he did either one of those?
I wouldn't have him lose stealth until he attacked.
You know what I'd like to see, though? And this is probably the equalizer. If you choose 1, either one of those lose 1 life as well.
Oh.
Like the troop loses 1 life. So then it's not too overpowered to just keep doing it.
Well, let's be honest, Dan. If a card's going to be made in my image, I want it to be overpowered.
That's right.
But I'll add that in for you just to make it a little more balanced. All right. Lose 1 life. Yeah, that's good. I like that. So the troop loses 1 life.
Right, not the player.
Yeah, okay, so then eventually you could have a troop. If you're revealing cards from your own hand, that's something like a 4/4. Oh, but that's not good.
But at least
4/4 for 2 mana, though. That's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to pay off.
All right, how about this?
It's only 2 mana.
I'll do the lose 1 life, but he gains 2 attack if he reveals a card from his hand.
But then he could be a 10/5 with stealth.
Yeah?
Wow.
10. But by then it's like turn 6, and you've already revealed your entire hand, basically.
True, but if your deck is that good, it doesn't matter what you've got in your hand. You don't care if they know.
I'll bump his health down to an 8. How about that?
That works. Yeah, that works.
Oh,
That
8.
seems-
So then he can get up to like maybe like a 5-3. See, that's super vulnerable. I'd only push him to like a 4-5 or something.
Yeah. Because,
All right.
but you got to remember that first one is still good. So that's actually 08 isn't too bad because you're going to probably want to use it to get card advantage over them before you start pumping them up over you.
Yeah. I just wanted to get something because so many of the stealth troops die to AoE, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to get one troop that, was guaranteed to, eventually just not die. Like, he wouldn't die until you wanted him to. And that's what I liked. And I also like annoying effects that let me like, oh, I'm looking at your hand. Oh, buddy. Oh, you're upset. Too bad.
You like the I want to stab you effects from your opponents.
Yes, those are my favorite. And that's why my wife won't play card games with me. All right, Dan, what's your card?
Well, I really like the idea of kind of like the ice block effect that mages have, but I wanted it to be more neutral. So I
Okay.
came up with the Lifesaver. Well, really kind of not a great name, but the community can come up with a better name. It's a 3 mana. It's a 1/3 troop, and it says, card text says, the next time your life would be reduced to less than 0, destroy Lifesaver and make your life total 5. So he basically, you could even call him a Secret Service agent. He dives in front of he takes an axe or takes a sword for you, but you're actually healed up to 5. So
Interesting.
So it's something that it's kind of like you take one of the big spells that's really annoying, but then anybody can get it. The only problem is it's a 1/3 troop. Now I didn't want it to be too OP where it could never be destroyed, but it's still a twofer if you think about it, with it being a 1/3, because 1/2 would be too little. It would be too easy to remove.
Yeah.
And
But
give him 1 so that maybe you might want to attack with him eventually.
See, Dan, I aim too high, but I think you're aiming too low here, buddy.
You think so?
I mean, come on. You could build any card after yourself, and you're building a 1/3.
Well, I didn't want to put a super hunter, card out there, or it's like, trying to think of another one of the shots where it would just go, blowing up everything.
As the card editor here, I'm dropping your mana cost to a 1.
That works.
Because I'm looking at like a Northshire Cleric, right? It's a 1/3 troop that has a cool effect. I'm giving that to you.
That's fair enough.
I think you're worth 1 mana, Dan.
Well, that's all
That's
right.
it.
Eventually, 6 months, almost 6 months at the top of the chain, I'm worth 1 mana too, and I'm a half a host. So
You are.
I guess the next time I'll be on will be June. No, I'm just kidding. That's fair enough, because that actually 1 mana is almost a good prize to have, because
Yeah.
you're going to be able to get it out easy, and you'll be able to do other things before that and get him out.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
I like this just because I like things that can save you or give you that second chance, because you have them out there and somebody thinks they have you, and then they're like, oh man, now I got to kill him twice, or have to waste that big AoE or a big thing. I thought maybe kind of more of a secret, or maybe give him something like stealth or something, but then it's kind of too close to ice block. But this seems like a pretty good troop to me.
Yeah, I like it.
But he's got to
All
be
right.
I think we want to make him a night elf though.
Oh,
'Cause
come on, Dan.
I know you're a big troll
Night
dude.
elf? Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, mine should be a troll.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that. I'm gonna add that. It must be. It's got to be a troll with a sweet green mohawk. 'Cause that's what my first rogue was, with the huge tusks and the face paint on. Yeah.
And he's got to have the when he comes out, he's got to say something really cool.
Yeah.
Got to give you like the Yaman or something, like when he comes
Yeah.
out, like they do that.
Or all the vendors that go like, "Stay away from the voodoo."
That's right. The Lifesaver just says, "I got your back,"
I got your back.
or maybe it'd be like a gnome, because then he'd be in that real
Oh,
high
yeah,
voice.
that'd be good.
I got your
Yeah.
back.
I got your back. And he should be in like a little flying copter, getting ready to dive in front of you.
Or he's got a shield that's like 3 times bigger than he is.
Someone in our Google Plus community, this just reminded me, started building April Fool's joke decks in Hearthstone, which and one of the decks he built was only using cards that have shields in their picture. So I don't know if I think the joke might be on him because he's probably going to lose because I can't imagine a deck built around a visual theme is going to be effective.
You may be onto something. He may be the next big winner.
That's true. He could be. That could be the deck that takes you down, the Shield visual deck. All right, let's jump to iTunes reviews. Mr. Z Math says, great positive podcast, 5 stars. Great podcast that isn't elitist. Much appreciated perspectives and fun to listen to. A must listen to for all Hearthstone players. And Shades says, great show, needs more consistent episodes, 4 stars. Ouch. You heard me, Shades.
WTF, man.
He explains it, though. He does.
Okay.
He says, love the show. Fantastic insight. Great for those starting out in Hearthstone or leaving Magic to transition. I just wish the episodes were more consistent, like once a week or once every other week. So, to be fair, good news. The show is done every other week. I did miss a month or so around the holidays, so maybe that's what he's talking about. And maybe I should be more consistent about what day I publish it, because I publish it on different days during the week, so maybe that kind of bothers him. Sometimes it's Tuesday, sometimes it's Thursday. I could see that being a problem, so I'll try and be more consistent on that. Thanks, Mr. Z Math, as well. We definitely strive to be welcoming and friendly. The last thing I think we can all agree the last thing the card community needs is more elitism.
This
it
is true.
has plenty of that already. So I'm glad you're enjoying the show and having fun with us. We appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words, guys, and the kind reviews. If those are the last of our iTunes reviews, so if you want to be on next week's show, if you don't make the tournament, you could be on that way. But if not, you can leave a review on iTunes, and we'll read it out loud on the show.
Well, in more seriousness, I was just messing around. Shades, thanks for the great review, and Mr. Z, that was awesome. And I speak for Josh. Well, I speak for the rest of the community. To Josh,
you, Dan?
I speak for Josh.
Do you speak for me?
I want to say I really you definitely keep it about as non-elitist as humanly possible. And and if people want to hear more Josh, there's plenty of ways out there. I don't want to bring up one of the shows because I don't know if it's kind of it kind of is a competitor, so I don't really want to bring the other show up. But you do a great job. There's plenty of ways to hear Josh be non-elitist at other ways, and you can listen to Lore Library, where it is the excellent, I know I've said it in the past, it's an excellent League of Legends lore podcast, and you do a good job, and it was fun listening to the Heimerdinger talk in the last episode.
Thanks. Yeah, that was real recent. Yeah, if you want to check out any of the or other shows, thank you, Dan. It's all on GameDiplomat.com. Or the doubleagentdiplomat.com. Dun, dun, dun.
That would be great to have that card as your front page.
That would be, yeah.
I'd like to, you know what? Here's a challenge to the community, too.
Okay.
I'd like to see some fan art, a mock-up of our cards, so we can put them on the Google Plus community and the Game Diplomat.
Oh, yeah, that would be really cool to show off. Yeah, that'd be fun to see them.
And since we have the greatest listeners, you have the greatest listeners in the world.
I'm
the half, so I'm going to say I put myself as a we today.
You're the reigning deck champion, so, I mean, you're basically half the show at this point. Your deck has been on half the episodes, so.
It's an honor. And it's all like I said, it's all you, buddy.
It's an honor to have you sing the Card of the Week song, Dan.
Wow, I'm not even prepared.
Nope, but you're singing it. Go.
Ooh. Card of the Week. Here it is again from the rating champ, the Card of the Week. Josh made me
throw that taunt in there, didn't
right.
you?
I am so not. I have no backbone as far or any of this stuff when it comes to being. I am not cocky whatsoever, but Josh, he held me down at gunpoint and said, "You will talk trash."
Man, it makes your inevitable demise on the next episode that much more sweet for the listeners when they've learned to hate you during this episode for your pride.
If you get a 1-star review that says that guy is a cocky B-man, I'm gonna feel bad.
It'll probably be a 5-star because I'm helping expose your evilness, your evil plot to rule Hearthstone. Let's jump into Card of the Week. It is Blade Flurry. It's a rogue spell. It's 2 mana. Destroy your weapon and deal its damage to all enemies. What do you think?
It's awesome. I've kind of always loved this spell. I love tricks like this. It's and it fits the rogue deck perfectly. It's evil.
It does. It is evil. Yeah, I mean it's been surprisingly useful. I wasn't immediately sold on this card because it is destroy your weapon, but Rogue has so limited AoE options that this is really the best they have. I mean, it's great board clear early and late. I mean, comboing with Deadly Poison, obviously. If you don't have a weapon in hand, it's still 3 damage to all enemies because you have deadly poison on your hero talent 1. If you have I'm blanking on the 3/4 weapon that I use. What is that called?
I will find.
Do you remember?
It's. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna find. I will find it. Assassin's Blade.
Assassin's Blade. Yeah, thank
Yep.
you. If it's that, then it's
Yep.
5 damage. I've actually just yesterday I was playing my rogue a bunch. I won 2 games with the combo of punch them in the face for 5, destroy weapon, hit them for 5 again, and they just don't see it coming.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, it's a great surprise.
It's a great combo and a great surprise. I mean, here's the thing. Like you said, let's face it, Rogue doesn't have a whole lot of AoE to begin with.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that you're either going to use to clear the board, to get board control, or you're going to burst somebody down in one turn. So you're kind of holding on to it, waiting for that moment. And sometimes, just kind of like a lot of the tricks in the Beastmaster, sometimes you can get caught holding the bag with this. So,
Yeah.
it depends on what kind of deck you're running to just go ahead and do it. You
Yeah.
know?
Go
I
ahead
like
and
it a lot.
There's your advice from Dan.
Just do it. That's why I like Rush. Just do it.
Yep.
But again, and if you like this card, just be ready for it to be used against you because, like I said, like Josh said, it's very useful recently, and it's getting a little bit more love. And so if you're playing against a rogue, remember that it could be coming.
Yep. There you go. So all right, that's the episode, guys. Again, if you want to enter the tournament, you have to send me an email, ajosh@outlook.com, by this Thursday, April 3rd. We're going to start the tournament on Saturday, April 5th, and they'll go through the 11th.
How do you forget the greatest day in the world?
I know.
Greatest day
I'm
ever.
so sorry, Dan. I'm so sorry. So email me. I'll get you connected with Jin. He'll give you all the rules so you know everything that's going down. Again, we may have to cut submissions short if way too many people enter, which would be an awesome problem. And if the tournament goes well, if we get a ton of interest, we'll do more of these in the future and coordinate it better and give more warnings so you aren't having to scramble to try and do it. But yeah, come contest Dan's claim to the throne because he has been on that throne for too long.
Yep, I'm getting warts on my butt for sitting up here.
And nobody wants that.
Yeah, nobody really wants that.
All right, so we're going to have full show notes for this tiny episode and all past episodes, of course. All links to videos, trailers, information we have about Hearthstone over on GameDiplomat.com. You'll also have a link to my email, so you can click that and email me. Swing by there, click on Hearthstone at the top, or click on anything else if you want to listen to the other podcasts. So next week on this show, we're going to have the tournament winner take on Dan's deck, which I'm super excited about. And on our other shows, we just launched a new team on my WoW Pet Battle Crew show, which uses Ruby Droplet, which I think is the best pet in the entire game right now. Out of the 600 and some odd pets, this is the best pet, I think.
Cool.
So if you feel like Pokemon style fun, come join us. It's a fun pastime. But as always, we want to know what you thought of the show and what you'd like to see added in future episodes. We could also use some more community questions too, like Dave's awesome question about which cards we would be. So send those in as well. You can contact me on Twitter. I'm @jaugustine, or email me at ajosh@outlook.com. And you can also join our ever-growing community on Google+, where we're happily talking about Hearthstone all day, every day. Just go to Google+, search for Happy Hearthstone. You'll find it. Dan,
Yes, sir.
where can people find you, and what are the awesome things that you do?
Well, I host a podcast called The Geek All Stars. It's mostly a board gaming, but we pretty much do board games, card games, TV, movies, videos, and I'm overdue for an Augustine appearance, so we'll talk about some video games and everything else. But that's a ton of fun. You can see that at thegeekallstars.com, or you can mail us at thegeekallstars@yahoo.com. I've also something that's been recent in the last month. I've been doing a little guest spot, which hopefully is pretty much semi-permanent now. Hopefully, I can continue to do it on the Final Score with Scott Johnson. I've been doing a little board gaming segment, and it's been a blast. And those guys are great over there. If you're not already listening, I would hope that all your listeners are listening to the Final Score. But if you're not, go check it out. It's a great video gaming podcast, and it's awesome.
Yeah, Scott Johnson is one of the best podcasters in existence, I think, if not the best.
Absolutely.
He's like my inspiration. I love that guy. He's also very friendly, which is not always the case with people that you admire.
He's definitely what got me into podcasting. Listening to his shows. He's one of the 3 guys that I credit to for being such big inspiration for podcasting everywhere. And let's face it, The Instance might be one of the best podcasts ever made.
Yes, that is very true. Yeah. And so people that don't know, obviously he makes The Instance, which is the most famous and best WoW podcast that has 300 episodes or something
Oh, yeah,
ridiculous like that. It's out
crazy.
of control. But yeah, so go over there, check out Scott Johnson's stuff, and also check out Dan as well over there. Stop by, listen to the show, and if you like Dan's segment, maybe drop him a note how much you like Dan's segment on the show, so they keep having him on. That'd be awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Dan, thanks for joining us this week and trash talking a little bit. I know it's not your style, but I appreciate you building up the villainous role.
It pains me a little bit to do it, but yes, it was a lot of fun. I guess that's kind of like what they say, like guys that are hockey players, they do that on the ice, they leave it out there, but they're the nicest guys in the world, and they say that about wrestlers too, how crazy they get, and they're the nicest guys. So just remember, I'm really a big teddy bear. And Josh, again, thanks for having me on. It's always an honor to talk to you, my friend, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, it's really fun, Dan. We'll have you on a real episode soon. Although this went on way longer than I thought it would. But
that's my fault. I don't know how to shut up.
It's good. You get us talking about beer and it's over. So, all right. Thanks again, Dan.
I appreciate it.
Stay
happy,
again.
everybody.
Yeah, everybody stay happy. And thanks again for listening to the Happy Hearthstone and having a little fun with us. We'll see you next time.